Alrighty. Oh, that's what I forgot. I forgot the chat for Roll20. And it's not set to the right Roll20. Don't want you guys to be able to see what might be on my side of the screen. There we go. As last time with our humble party in the town of Wolford, we picked up with you all going to rest for the rest of the day after what had happened. After you had met up with Lady Elsani. She explained what had happened, and you went to rest. As we picked up with you all being informed that Lady Elsani was hurt, and that she was going to need till tomorrow to fully rest before you could get any thing done with her. So, as you were informed that, you all decided to figure out what you were doing for the day. A variety of shopping went on, and concluded with you all heading to Tikka's, where Sol requested an enchantment for a item that would protect her allies, I believe, 3 times per day. And I actually don't remember how many allies it was off the top of my head. It was 3? Okay, up to 3, okay. So Sol wanted to get an item enchanted that would protect her allies from her magic 3 times per day, protecting about 3 allies as well. As that was what was decided for the enchantment, as the other bits of it were a bit out of her price range. However, the enchantment itself was still out of her price range, even at that. So Tikka made an offer to Sol that if she could light the fires of her forge to be burning as hot as they are supposed to, she would give her a discount. As she were told that usually her business associate would come down and fix the forge to be burning at the heat it's supposed to be, but she has not done so, so the forge is burning colder, which makes the process of creating the items take a bit longer. And I believe the time frame allotted for the enchantment was about 2 days. Maybe, yeah, it was about 2 days, I believe. With her estimating that it could possibly go quicker. But nonetheless, that enchantment was discussed. And I think Isaac also discussed an enchantment to get a +1 protection item on, was it your pocket watch?
Correct.
And that was going to take about a day, or it would be able to be picked up tomorrow.
You have to.
Yeah. So, that was discussed, and the enchantments were purchased. Other things were purchased at the Hive, where you got to see the absurd prices of the business and the strange working conditions with the woman behind the counter. And then you all returned to Lady Elsani's manor, where you rested and slept for the night. You also, that day went to go check up on Mr. Perpetor, finding out if he was all right and finding him to be okay. And I think there was some questioning of the guards of some things regarding like what was going on in the city, and some information was gotten about the serial killer who was in fact executed that same day. But nonetheless, you all began your talk with Lady Elsani the next day after awaken, as you discussed all that had happened. And she discussed to you all the Umbral Order, its connection to what was going on, and a whole variety of other things that I don't remember off the top of my head. It's been some time that have been discussed nonetheless and brought up. Near the end of the conversation, she said that Satanta wished to have you all take a look at some information regarding jobs that he would offer you all if you still wish to work with him before he arrived back, which would be tomorrow. As you were offered out the papers and you all looked them over. And I believe we ended session there, just right there, as we will pick up session exactly where we left off. I'm sorry, maybe not exactly. After a bit of time as allotted so you all could read through the jobs themselves. As we pick up, and Lady Ilsani looks to you all and gives a nod as she goes, I do not know the specifics of these jobs, but regional questions or general questions I may be able to answer, so if you have any questions regarding what is written in them, I have read them over myself. I can answer what I know if you would like to ask. Satanta, again, will know more specifics about the jobs themselves, but you may be able to get something from me. Does anyone have any questions regarding the jobs that you believe Lady Ilsani might have an answer to?
Beryl would just be very, very eager to, like, know where all of these places are. She'd just be like, like, pull out her map. And you're like, well, where's this one? And where's that one?
Sure.
Just, like, pointing at each job and, like, each,
Would you all be looking at the map as well to see where Lady Ilsani points out things to be?
Yes.
Okay.
Quite far from home.
So, starting with the obvious, she would point out where Breline is, a city that she knows of, down over here, this way. And then she would point out where the capital city of Brata is. And I have to roll a check for her because she might not know where the city of Podau is located. It is not exactly her area of expertise. But with her roll of 17, she would in fact be able to point out where the town mentioned in the letter is, as you should be able to see it. Do you see it there?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the missive from Zilia.
Yes. I mean, the names are... You should see the name as well, so...
Yep.
Okay. And then... I have to type this one out, actually, so give me 1 second. I'll just copy and paste this, and then... Yeah, there we go. That's big. Too big. Not as big as it should. Way too big. That's still too big. Anyway. And it would be there. As she would point out where the town of Sanlo is. The fairly unremarkable town. And then, last but not least, she would reveal Dolwyn to you as and then let me get its name. Come on, do this for me. There we go. As she would point out where Dolwyn is for you all as well. As all that it should be revealed is now revealed. I would believe that is all the locations of the jobs at the very least. Did someone whisper roll me something? Or was that... Did someone roll something?
Nope.
Okay. I guess that was a late sound from my, No, okay, weird. Anyway... she would point out where each of the locations would be on the map for you all. As you have them marked on your maps now, and anyone else that has a map of Euclax, she would mark them for you as well.
Yay.
Any other questions that you could think of for Lady Ilsami? I'll give you a minute if you... Okay.
I guess Astrid would ask, like, travel approximations.
Let me give her a roll. Have it be history as well. 19, not a bad roll. Where is my calculator? Are you asking for specific places for travel calculations? Or just all of them in general?
All of them in general.
Okay. So we're going to start from top to bottom, as she will tell you how long it'll take to get to Brata, to get to Podau exactly. Traveling, following the road, or just trying to travel via, like, moving toward the direction?
Following the road, because we have a carriage, and that carriage on the road is faster than trying to wade through the underbrush on foot.
Correct. I just needed to make sure.
Hmm?
Okay. All right. Let me just double check that. Sorry, this takes some math from me, this question.
Yeah, no problem.
Especially because I don't have the roads exactly marked, so I have to figure out, the roads. I want to go to a border, and then... Okay. So to reach, Podau, using your carriage, it would take you about a week and a half of travel, taking the most central road, being the one that leads directly to the border of the Empire, and then heading that way. However, she'd point out that there have been dangers on that road recently since the war effort broke out, as they were always fairly dangerous roads, as going by the mountains and such. There are subterranean entrances and creatures that live in the underground or possibly even the Underdark sometimes spill out from those caravans during the nighttime, and caverns from the nighttime, and can set upon travelers. So it is a dangerous road at the moment. Using the less dangerous road, which is very, very, very out of the way, your travel would take about 18 days to reach Podau using that road. As that one would go toward up the mountains, back toward Oakmill, and then you would follow the road.
Okay.
Okay. So, make sure to write these down, because I'm not going to have them immediately available without doing math for the next one. Then, easy, for next place. Do. To get to Breline, which is a lot less of a travel. It would take you about maybe a week or so, give or take about a day either way. So it could take less than a week or like a day more than a week. Sorry, no. It could take... Yeah, no, that's correct. Wait. I'm forgetting how many days are in a week in Augon.
7.
Okay. So then it wouldn't take you about a week. It could take about 5 to 6 days. So I'm I was close there. But...
Yeah, your calendars have 4 weeks, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so 7 days in each week.
So following the roads, that is, not trying to just take a direct move path toward it, because I'm sure anyone can see that it could take a bit shorter if you just try to straight gun it using the measuring tool. I'm using the roads.
Does that route have any characteristics like the Podow one?
No. You would... At asking, you'd be told that the road to Breline is a bit more protected, and even more so recently with the war breaking out, as Destin has been trying to keep their soldiers stationed close toward the border, and Breline is fairly close to the border. But with the goblin attacks going on, this has not happened, but she does believe there could possibly be an attack, like, on the road. But that has not happened yet. She knows that any raid that has happened has been on the city. Then for Dolwyn, which has probably the most straightforward path, it would take you 3 days to get to there. You would have to go pass a mountain pass using this travel. As you would be caught between two mountain ridges and cliffside, and there have been reports of accidents happening of like boulders and rocks falling around those areas. And with mountains, there is the risk of mountain giants possibly causing issue, but they are generally not immediately violent toward people. But they are known to take from people on the roads, just not harm them unless it comes to that. And then to Sandlow. I have to do Sandlow a bit differently. Yeah, because it go up to here. Okay, and it would take about 4.5 days, accounting for steep travel upward the hill. And she would just point out that traveling that way has the usual dangers you'd expect from the main road that you guys took to get here. Schneetriebers, other things that dwell in the forest. Generally not issues to people, though Schneetriebers have been more present in their movements recently.
On that note, have you heard anything about werewolves recently?
Did you guys tell her about the werewolves?
I don't think so. It was happening on the way here, so I don't think we included it with all of our summarizing information.
Let me check it. Where's my phone? Okay. She would say about werewolves. I had heard that there was a lycanthrope attack on the road to Camelon not too long ago. It was taken care of, though, as the roads near the great city are rather well protected, even during the night time.
We also came across some werewolves on our way here, so I was just curious if they're common for the area, or have they been more common recently?
Lycanthropes are not exactly common here in Destin, but they are known to be rather common up north of Vosia in the Krieger woodlands.
Thank you.
There's some bad blood here in Destin with history of werewolves, considering a faction of them long ago devoted to Baphomet was rather active. That was driven out several times and has come back several times. These werewolves that attacked were allegedly part of a sect of that.
Those are all the questions Astrid has. If anybody else has any, I'm sorry that took a fair chunk.
That's
of time.
all right.
The werewolves that we dealt with had a symbol? Perhaps part of the same sect as the ones that you were describing? Say yeah to the lady.
Yeah, I mean, you guys do know that they were symbols of Baphomet, I'll say, because you were told that when you explained what you saw to the Minotaurs. It's a bit ago, so I'm willing to say that, because I'm sure it's in someone's notes. If not, you can thank me later.
Then I retract.
It's okay. Alright. Anyone else have any other questions for Lady Ilsani?
Lady Alsani, what is your gut telling you? Which of these missives that we've received do you think sounds the most suspicious and could be related to the ongoing events?
Could be related to the ongoing events. Do you mean in relation to what just happened here?
Correct.
Well, one of them immediately screams demons to me, which is the one that mentions the demoness in Zilia. That one concerns me for several reasons. Zilia is not known to rely upon the other nations for assistance with matters such as these. It is out of character for them, as they, well, have a history of taking what they want and using what they have taken for their protections and building of their lands. So the fact that they are reaching out says that the situation is not ideal. But aside from that, there's demon influence involved. I do not know the other two members of the Umbral Order's trinity of demon lords. So, it could be she could be related to the Umbral Order, and I don't know. So I would say that that would be the one that I am most concerned about. I also share sentiments with the general here that any sort of demonic threat should be taken care of as soon as possible. And it boggles my mind that his missives to Vosia have not gotten any sort of ceasefire in return. From my encounters with the Council, I believed them to be people who shared that sentiment as well. Aside from that, I know of the goblins of Sanlo, and I have met with some of their diplomats before, spoken with their people, and even spent some time with their clan. It is uncharacteristic and concerning that they would turn to banditry, and it indicates to me something very, very wrong is going on. I believe that to be an important matter to be looked at, but I also believe it's a matter that has to be looked at delicately by people that would go in not looking for fighting, looking to solve things diplomatically.
Jake, when you said Goblins of Sanlo, Alien Pass is in Sanlo?
Yes. Well, it's near. Sorry, Braylon. I'm getting confused.
Okay.
That's what I meant. My bad there. the goblins of the pass near Braylon is what I meant. I'm sorry about that. That happened last week as well. Not last week, last session, where I got the two confused. So my apologies.
Oh, good.
So that concerns me, and I believe a diplomatic hand should be sent to figure out what's going on. Those are the two in my mind that concern me the most, out of the ones on here. Though I am not pleased to hear of a bandit occupation of Sanlo. That is, in fact, not a good thing to hear. But that they haven't hurt anyone, hell, is a good sign for me. And I am aware of the efforts of the Ugly Siren pirate group. Their methods are not unknown to me. They do not have a history of harming people. Physically, at the very least.
We're certainly willing to threaten it.
Anyone looking to take something from you is going to be willing to threaten violence. And they have harmed people before. I should correct my statement. They have not fatally wounded someone or killed anyone in my knowledge, ever. The worst they have ever done is they have broken a couple bones of individuals. Does anyone else have any other questions? Comments or things to say to the thing she just brought up? Alright. I will...
Real quick,
Mm-hmm.
what do you know of Knight Captain Ariana Avalon?
The Knight Captain.
Yes.
What do I know of her? I know a great deal about her. What do you wish to know?
Reputation, ties to the family.
She is the princess, though she doffs that mantle, and serves as the captain of the Knights of Camelon. Would have been Satanta's boss before he moved on to becoming a Knight of 3 in Praxmore.
So I would gather she has a very high-held reputation amongst...
She is a woman of
Knights
great
of-
honor and esteem. I consider her a trusted confidant and a friend. I would say yes, she has a good reputation. I'm sure if it were her, if she were able, she would go and deal with the situation in Sanlo herself. But as the Knight Captain, her hands are likely tied with matters that are of more importance or of more dire threat to the nation.
All the more reason someone should take care of it for her.
I don't disagree, but I don't know if I necessarily believe a group of highly skilled individuals are necessary for solving the situation. I believe a squadron of armed knights should suffice if that were to be taken care of. But whatever you decide to do, I'm sure that you will handle the situation in a way that is better than any one knight could. Any one soldier could, she would say. She wouldn't say night. Any more questions? Anyone gonna stop me with a question last minute before I move on? That was a joke, by the way, Ben. That wasn't supposed to be anything. Just a little joke. Because someone always does. And I... Anyway, she would go, well, so Tata will have more concrete answers for you once you are able to speak with him. As he looks to you, Silas, and goes, you wish to speak in private?
Yes, I still would.
Would you like to do that now, then?
If the time is convenient, then yes.
She would look over to the maid as she will go, I'll be heading then with Silas here to the study. We will have a private discussion, and I will return after. As the maid just nods, she looks to you, Silas, and goes, follow me then. She will get up a bit slowly, clearly still sore, and will start to move, exiting the room. And I assume you're going to follow?
Yes.
Okay. James just arrived, so would you guys be good with taking the 5-minute break now so that I can get his cam set up and everything?
Yep.
That good with everyone?
Perfectly fine.
Okay, so take 5 minutes. We will be back once you return then. As do. So as Silas and Lady Ilsani go to walk off to have a private conversation, what are you all going to do? As I will cover that before I get to their talk.
I probably just want to keep reading my history book. I think I started on the Historical Chronicles of Destin by
Yes.
I.B. Arcanic.
Yes, you did.
So I'll keep reading that.
Okay.
Today is the 23rd, right?
Are you staying in this dining area while you do it, or are you going somewhere else?
I'd probably move to the what's the room with the fireplace and the couches.
It's a living room, yeah.
Yeah, I'd go there.
Okay. Today's the 22nd.
Didn't we have a whole day already after Winter Remembrance? Because we did those dumb errands.
You did the dumb errands the same day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Did we? I thought we slept
because, well,
right away.
You slept twice is the thing.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You slept once after you had gotten back, and then you slept later that night till today.
Okay.
Because it was early morning when what happened had happened with the town.
Okay.
Got a lot of sleep in.
Yeah.
Aster will follow Beryl and start, like, trying to compose something. So she's just kind of plucking at the violin.
Sure.
Free bird.
Yep. Exactly.
Carolina, what would you be doing?
Probably just sitting and relaxing, waiting for them to get back.
Sure. Where would you be sitting and relaxing? Are you going to follow Beryl and Astrid, or are you going to stay in the dining room?
Yeah, I guess I'll stay. I'll go with them.
Okay.
Like the living room.
Fair enough. Isaac?
I'd follow the rest, and then I'd pose the question. You guys think it's okay if I smoke in here? There's a living room.
How much drapery is around? Because this will impact my answer.
Are you asking the maid?
No, I'm asking you.
No, I'm
Jake, the
asking.
DM.
I'm asking if Anthony would ask the maid as Isaac.
If she's in the room, then yes.
She would look to you and she would go, "If you wish to smoke, you will have to do it outside. We have a patio if you would like to do it there. Just the smell lingers for a very long time."
Understandable. That's why I asked. And he would go to the patio and pack his pipe.
Sure. As you would head outside to a patio and smoke. There's not much drapery in the living room, by the way, Alex.
It doesn't really matter because the maid actually was there and had an answer.
Yeah.
I didn't have to.
There's like a single
Isaac.
there's like a single window in the living room with drapes, but that's about it.
The upholstery that really clings.
Josie, what would you be doing?
Like Beryl and Astrid into this living room, but she's just sort of fidgeting around. Not really noticing or focusing on anything.
Okay. Soul?
She would take advantage of the dining room and read The Stone Jungles of Euclix.
Okay. As you will read. Okay. And do. Tobacco addiction. Very good. The much better addiction, obviously. Sure, Ben. We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Can you just message me what the gist of what you want to talk about is then? So that I can be aware of it for, like, possible, like, things happening.
I mean, I can just say it. It's not a secret. I'm just
Sure,
not
you
having
can-
session time up with my slower moving mind.
You can just say it.
The crux of the conversation is going to be about the symbol, the Umbra,
Umbral order.
and he will bring up a number of things that he would recall and recognize from his growing up and such, and seeing if there are strong dots connected or not.
Okay. And we can, so to inform you, Ben requested that we do this, talk, later, when his mind is a bit more awake. That will be streamed, though. And I assume that you're good with, anyone sitting in, since it would be streamed anyway, and it would have been done in session. Okay. So that'll happen at a later date. I don't know when. Probably, hopefully before I leave. Probably. We'll see. But, okay. Then my next question would be, is there anything anyone is going to be trying to roleplay while you're waiting for Silas to return? Like, in the brief moment, during the wait?
Have anything?
Okay, then time would, pass by, and Silas and Lady Elsani, would, head out and arrive in, Silas would arrive in the, living area, finding his way to you all eventually, unless you had somewhere else in mind to go after Silas, and not back to the party.
No, it would have been back to the party.
Okay. So Silas will arrive back to the party. Lady Elsani would not be with him, and Silas would just deliver a message to the maid saying that Lady Elsani decided to return to her room to get some more relaxed time. As Silas would arrive back as... Sol, how long would you be reading in the dining room? Or are you just staying in there?
Indefinitely.
Okay. Then you all are together in the living room. Silas has just returned. What do you do? If you do anything.
Are we waiting on Satanta right now?
Tanta is coming back tomorrow.
Okay, so we don't have any pressing engagements, correct?
You do not.
Okay, Astrid is gonna try and buy a plant again.
So you're going to leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
Isaac would go to pick up his watch from Chica.
You did that yesterday, did you? Yeah, you did. Okay. Okay. So then, I'm going to cut this short for the sake of it. I'm going to drop the big, what are you doing for the day, then? As opposed to keeping this any sort of slow, because if nobody has anything in mind in terms of role-playing or doing anything with one another, I need to know what people are doing for the day, and then we're going to the next day.
Silas will be shadowing his sister essentially, but if the group gets back together at some point in time, he's going to try to broach the conversation of getting everyone on board on what we want to take on before Zatanna gets here.
I mean,
Yeah.
in fairness, you were all together minus Soul just the minute there. and Soul is in the dining room. So if that conversation wants to happen, you could fetch Soul while you're still in the same building before everyone goes separate different directions.
It's fair. I think we should have that conversation, though.
I'm not saying that to, come at you or anything, Ben. I'm just pointing it out at the moment. I know you're a bit tired today.
If everyone will stick around long enough to have the conversation first, then yeah.
It's amiable for that.
Okay. Would someone be going to get Soul to have this talk?
Yes.
That should will.
Okay. Soul, someone would approach you, and would you be amiable to go have a conversation about what job you should all take?
Yes.
Okay. Where would you all like to talk about this job meeting? It doesn't really matter. Dining room, living room.
Everybody's in the living room already, so we'll just do
Okay.
the living room.
So you would all then be together. As you would all be together, Soul having just arrived recently, but all settled in as... Go on. What do you do? The scene is yours.
So what are we all thinking in terms of job offers?
I have a strongest consideration and one of the four that I absolutely don't want to go here that I think is more out of the way and dangerous than we should be signing up for.
Which one would that be?
More out of the way and dangerous? That would be the missive from Zilia.
Your preference?
I would like to help the Lady of Avalon. As she would prefer to be called, the Night Captain.
Your reasoning?
Josie and I had some experience on our way in before we met you all with the Ugly Sirens. I believe that should they be similar in mannerisms, quite likely, myself with a little support, verbally, not physically, could put them down in the town. Beyond that, doing a good deed for the Knight Captain would-be princess by bloodline would do all of us some good. If anyone else has any interest in potentially ever getting to meet the dear queen.
Sounds, no offense, but like you're doing this more for personal gain than...
Are we not all helping? Did we not sign on to help Setanta because we have something to get of it, whether it's learning what's going on with you or finding avenues to second magic to solve a litany of our problems that we have?
So
Oh,
this
it's
is
something
right.
to gain.
I
This is not purely altruistic. Sorry, James, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. James, go.
I agree with Silas. Mainly because there is something personal at Sandlow that I want to go to. Sirens apparently also have my brother captured there, allegedly. So that's who I would also like to be able to go see. If we're talking about other jobs that aren't of personal gain, I'd say the one with the miners is also pretty, would be my other take.
I sort of like what Silas did when he suggested the one he absolutely does not want to take. Do you have one that you would not be comfortable taking?
I would agree with the one Silas says about,
Oh.
What was it about?
Zilia?
Zilia?
For the record, I wasn't meaning to poo-poo anybody who was in it for a personal gain. It just, you know, being upfront about it is kind of important. And I appreciate that you were honest with us, Carolina, about your brother being there, and I'm sorry to hear that, but I will definitely keep that in consideration as we vote on this.
That's why I also suggested the other one.
We're told that we could take 2 jobs if we so desired.
Jake, while we're having this talk, can we have the map again, just so we have a visual?
Absolutely.
I can say as far as the 2 jobs situation goes, I would personally prefer it if the rest of you are up for it, for us to undertake jobs.
Well, I mean, how exactly would that work? 'Cause if we take 2 jobs, I mean, they're all in completely opposite directions.
We would obviously have to prioritize, depending on the urgency of each job. Beryl, what's your vote?
Me? Well, she's just kind of like scanning the map and like looking it over and everything. I would also be pretty interested in taking a look at that mine. Sounds like something strange is going on there, and well, we're no stranger to strange. If we take 2 jobs, well, I wouldn't want them to be too far apart, considering, you know, we don't even know how long each of these jobs is going to take us, and I wouldn't want somebody to feel like, you know, we were out to help them and then we get sidetracked and things go off without us. But, if I had to say for a second job, I don't know, I believe I've never met goblins before. They sound nice, aside from, you know, the strange attacks. I wouldn't mind taking a look at that.
But which job would you not want, under any circumstances?
Oh, I mean, I don't think I'm outwardly opposed to any one of them, but I guess if I had to pick one, I'd probably say that the demon stuff as well.
We'll put this out there.
Someone's gonna have to go ahead, of the 2 of you.
Alex, you've been talking that
I can't see Ben, so I can't tell if he's going to speak, so
Well,
I would be quiet.
Well, he said go ahead, that's
go
why.
ahead.
Oh, okay. Personally, I have the opposite opinion. I'm most interested in the Zillia mission, but I of course will defer to the majority. If everyone decides they would like to help the miners, I of course will come with you, but I'm not very good underground. I'm fairly uncomfortable with it. The only reason I could deal with it in Oak Mill is because I knew a child was at the other end of it.
I too am claustrophobic, and not only that, but I, as much as I would like to help those miners, I think it's, for lack of a better term, a waste of our talents when there are more urgent matters to attend to. My personal pick would be the Goblin Raids. I think that where there's smoke, there's fire, and if something that out of the ordinary is happening, something suspicious is going on. And you guys know me, I'm a curious sort. I'd like to know what the deal is.
Wouldn't like to know what's making the sounds and causing the miners to not return.
I mean, that's of interest, but could just be mind gas.
Mind gas?
Mine gas, like the gas in the mines. I don't know, you hear weird stuff down there. I don't like going down in caves either.
Oh,
I
mind
start
gas.
freaking out. I
Sorry,
start hearing things.
I thought you said mind gas. So there's gas in your mind?
I'm not that empty-headed, Barrel.
Could also be aberrant creatures from below, undead.
Again, I don't like caves. I am claustrophobic. That is a reason why, a personal reason, sure, but a reason why I would not like that job.
We're all personally undertaking whatever we do. Personal reasons should be warranted.
But in terms of my second pick, it would also be the missive from Zilia. I think that is the farthest away, and that is a deterrent for sure. But the lady did say that it was probably pretty pressing if they're dealing with demons.
So, Josie?
Demons need to be dealt with. However, I would like to assist Carolina with her brother.
Thank you, so.
What's the mission you don't want to take? Is it the Zilia one?
I want to take that one the most.
Alright, well, which one do you not want to take?
Does not matter. I am ready to assist anyone. I defer to the group.
At the moment, the two most popular options seem to be Sanlo and Zilia. Josie, are you with Silas on this one, or do you have a dissenting opinion?
Just about any of them. I'm not rightly much help when it comes to anything diplomatic, but I'm not a hindrance either. But I won't go with y'all if you go follow that Zilia one.
Alright, then it looks like Sanlo is our best bet, considering we have several nays for Zilia, but there are no dissenting opinions about Sanlo. Does everyone agree with that?
Sounds correct to me.
Right?
It is close enough, and if Carolina's brother is being held there, then I think that's probably a good course of action. But I think we should maybe consider a second job as well. If only because God's willing, the Sandloud job will be over relatively quickly. The lady said that, you know, a few good soldiers could probably deal with it.
So if
So
that's
that-
the case, the other job that everyone, a majority of the party, also wants to do is the Zillia one.
But it
Now,
also has people not willing to do it. The next option with the most votes, so to say, without any dissenting opinions, is the Goblin mission.
I was just about to say that the goblins were the other one that got no nays.
Do we want to take into consideration which one might be the bigger concern, short or long term?
I think that would be best.
I think that the risk, time-wise, as time passes, is greater with the goblins' raids. However, I think we know less about how long that job will take to complete than the Sandno one. Should hopefully be able to solve the issue with words, which means the same day we arrive. It'd be days to find out what's going on with the goblins.
Jake, so I see Sandlo on the map. The Goblin one is at Breeline, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Would you be able to, or like, would I have to do like a check to see how long it would take from Sandlo to Breeline, or vice versa?
Well, you have the travel times from here to each of the locations. Alex, if you have those,
I do. And then Sandlo's 4.5 days.
So Breeline is 5 to 6 days from where you are, and then Sandlo is 4.5, which doesn't necessarily equal how long it will take to get there from you from Sandlo. But that is how long it
could
would take
approximate
base-wise. Approximating, if you guys are all trying to put your best heads forward to approximate how long it would take to get from Sandlo to get from Breeline to Sandlo, I'll say that someone can roll an intelligence check with advantage getting given the help action for everyone trying to put their best minds to it.
Who's the best at math?
I'm
party.
looking.
Barely
What is my
barrel.
intelligence?
What if
My
we
intelligence
said-
modifier is a 3.
What if I argue that this would be a great time to make a survival check for understanding how travel works?
It is understanding how travel works, yes. But it's also less of knowing how to travel and how the travel works, and more like calculating, like, time in a day, and, like, using the math to figure out how long it would, say, go up the hill. However,
I was lost once you said math, though.
Josie
I
canonically
will-
measures by tree height.
I will give you a survival check that you can make, and it will add to whether it adds the accuracy of the approximation made by the group.
Oh, was it an intelligence check you wanted? If so, I have a 4 mod. That was being asked about.
4 is the one to beat. Does anybody have a 5? No? Alright, Silas.
Alright, Silas, you can roll an intelligence check at advantage.
Josie, how many trees is it from Sandlo?
So a 20. And I would say that someone's offering you the help action, Josie, so
Sure.
I won't be unnecessarily weird about that. Okay. Alright. So approximating the just base time, and then considering how long it will add with the going uphill, it's going to take you about 7 days, so about a week.
I
Give or
would
take.
recommend going to Sandlo first because it is uphill. That way, once we are done with Sandlo, we'll have gravity aiding us on the way to
Is that Carolina's brother's name?
Is what?
Gravity?
Oh, no.
No, going uphill is harder because gravity is pushing you down. And when you go down, gravity's pushing you down, so it's two forces pushing downwards. And we have wheels, which makes that even better.
Astrid, I believe we're skipping the step of explaining to Beryl what gravity is.
Sorry, it's good when a force is pushing you down.
Uh, Beryl, jump in the air for me real quick.
Beryl jumps
Side?
as high as she can.
All right, you see how you came back down?
I did?
That's gravity.
What is?
Jake, is gravity a concept in Augon? Before I go this whole, I'm going to commit to this, but I want to make sure I'm not just making things up and everybody else is like, what the fuck is gravity?
To learned folk.
Okay, right, cool. Astrid is, that's Astrid. Gravity is the force that keeps us connected to the ground beneath us. So when
The
you
reason-
jump, you are exerting force, but the force of the ground beneath you is stronger and it pulls you back down.
She hit it on
Oh.
the head.
Alright, I understand now.
Can I insight check Beryl if she understands?
I'm gonna insight Silas to see if he was actually impressed that I described
If
it.
you want.
I mean, I can tell you Silas was being honest when he said you hit it on the head.
Beryl, I'm very proud of you.
Wow, Beryl.
First economics, now this.
Just mastering all of Euclax's secrets.
Yeah.
He's also in the Feywild, though. I'm almost certain it's also in the Feywild.
Nah, Feywild is like...
Well-
Float, do you
Well,
float?
has people floating into
Oh, I'm
space
sorry,
now.
are you from there?
No.
We can continue, I just wanted
But when
to
I
do
met
that
you,
for
you
2
didn't
minutes.
say anything like, it's weird how everybody's on the ground here, which I wouldn't have expected.
Girl spends most of her time in the ground.
Alright, fair.
Moving on.
But yes, downhill faster than uphill is the gist of it.
Makes perfect sense.
Alright. Carolina, if your brother's name is Gravity, that would be great.
Would be great, but it's
Out of
not.
character, like, come on. What a great tiefling name, am I right?
Who said he was a tiefling?
Oh, sorry.
Damn,
That's me being racist again, you know me.
It's alright. We gotta have one per campaign, right?
Mm-hmm.
In this case, you'd have
I
two.
hope his name is Newton.
Anyway,
Very good.
continue on.
You'll meet my brother when you meet him, if he's there.
You just said he was there. Do you not know for certain?
That's what I've been told.
Alright,
Siren's
so
description.
the plan is take the Sandlo job with the intent of also taking the Brelling job, hoping we finish the first one quickly. But we should probably keep Satanta informed on that regard in case you need to send someone else in.
Well, he is going to be here tomorrow, right? We can let him know which jobs we're taking tomorrow and then head out. Same day tomorrow.
Jake, do we have any, were we told at all what time to expect him or just tomorrow?
You were not.
Okay.
Nobody asked, and she just said tomorrow.
Okay.
If we want to leave him earlier in the day, we can see if he's here, and if not, then I guess we'll see him when we come back, or we can let Lady Asani know. Or we can leave a message for Satanta here.
He might have information for us on these jobs.
You were told to wait for him.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
So I was just adding a reason to wait for him is all.
Carolina's like, I'll get a head start. You guys catch.
Pesky gravity. Well, with that settled, does anybody else have any pressing business now that we're all here together? Because
nothing.
Because if we intend to leave tomorrow, I would suggest that if anybody has any lingering business in the town of Wolford itself, that you take care of it today.
Okay.
Right. Well, I am going to attempt to find a gift for Vidaf to thank him for assisting us, and because we were in his house for a very long time. And then I will be going to inform the vampire of our departure.
Astrid, can I come with you?
Yes, of course.
Great.
Unless anybody else says they want to come with, she's gonna head out.
Can someone check if the apothecary is open again?
Certainly can. If that's what you want to do for what you go to do, and then we'll figure out what you do for the rest of your day. Okay. What's everyone else going to try and do?
Isaac would go pick up his watch.
Okay.
No, I'm gonna stop buying books because I feel like that's a pain in the ass for you, Jake.
No, do it if you want. I don't care. The thing I said last week was me being passive-aggressively annoyed about it. You can still do it.
Well, have you finished all your other books? Because just
No, I
buying
have
more
not.
is just irresponsible.
You're right. It's
That
like
would
my
also
Steam
be a
library.
point I make.
Yeah, that's like my Steam library.
Is
You're right, I
that-
should finish buying books.
I might get it. I might actually start getting fed up, like in a real way, if you start buying books and you haven't finished things.
Okay.
That's a real warning. But
Okay.
what I
fair.
said last week was because I was in a last time we played was because I was in a bad mood and it just came out. So it does annoy me, but it's not that big of a deal. But I will actually, yeah, you get it. Anyway,
No, you're right. I forgot to finish I'm not even sure I started the other book.
you have more than one book at the very least currently.
Yes, but
Isaac, finish your dinner book before your dessert book.
No, Mom.
The only
I
other
like the
thing
chocolate book.
the only other thing I'd point out on the book topic is that you guys have been to this particular bookstore in Wolford a lot, and Wolford's not the only place you're ever gonna go in the campaign, so you don't need to really need to get everything out of this bookstore. There's gonna be other places that possibly
Use
have a
all
bigger
your book
selection.
budget in one place.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I'll say on the topic before going on, and that's not just toward you.
Yeah, okay, then in that case, Isaac would go pick up his watch and return to the inn and read and wait for everyone else.
Are you going to stay at the inn and not come back here then?
Were we meeting back here? I don't think we said.
Well, you guys didn't decide anything. You guys can if you want to right now, very quickly. Do you guys want to... Lady Osani did not kick you out or rescind an offer for you guys to sleep here again. But she didn't expressly say to stay here again either. She just didn't say anything about it at the dinner. Or at the breakfast.
I feel like we should leave her alone. She's had a hard day.
Let her be naked in her own house.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you guys have not stopped her from doing that.
I mean, Josie planned on going back to the inn, so...
There you have it.
Soul would reveal the mark on her chest and say, I'm not staying at that inn.
Okay, then we can stay here.
I can go by the inn now and clear our account, take care of any outstanding charges.
You all paid in advance, so I don't think you have any, actually.
We did, but I'm not sure for how long, and I wasn't really...
You paid for about a week because you expected
All right,
to be here
perfect.
about a week.
So we're good then.
All of your outstanding charges are covered, so...
I'll just check under the beds to make sure nobody left like a stuffed animal.
That's fine. Unless you're going...
Special blankie.
Unless you're going back to request, say, money for the days you're not going to spend, because I don't think you've spent a full week here in Wolford.
Yeah, but we didn't... I mean, it's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine, then.
If somebody wants their money back, they have to go in person.
Something to consider if anyone wants to do that. But, okay. So...
Yeah, Isaac would go pick up his watch and then
come back and
return. Yes, correct.
Okay, so Isaac's doing that. Carolina, what are you doing?
I guess I'll just stay here and wait for the others to get back.
Nothing you want to do in the city before you leave?
I'll probably no, nothing really to do in the city. I think I got everything that I really can here.
Nobody you want to talk to before going or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Silas? And or Josie, if the two of you are of the same.
I mean,
My answer
not-
depends on if Josie's doing something.
Josie's not planning to leave this building. So...
Josie's not leaving, and Silas is gonna stop by the. That's a bit of a trek to go by himself, but he's gonna go to the cemetery.
Okay. As in, Bedouin Memorial Cemetery?
Yes. Wants to
Alright.
go see the statue.
Okay. I will touch on that after the quick stuff. Josie, you're just not doing anything? You're just staying?
Me that Silas going to the cemetery is something he explicitly would only do knowing that Josie was staying behind, or...
No, like if Josie was doing something, he was gonna accompany her while she was doing it.
Because if you're just leaving, she's gonna go with you.
Okay. He won't. Yeah, he wouldn't make it a secret. He's not trying to sneak out.
Okay. Then yeah.
Then Josie's going with Silas?
Yeah. She was just gonna, like, weirdly, methodically clean guns. If that's not necessary, it's just his best thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. So the two of you are going there. Astrid and Beryl are going to go see if they can buy a plant for Vidath and then stop by the vampires. Carolina is doing nothing, just staying here.
Yeah, I guess I'll read. I'll catch up on reading.
That's fine. Isaac is going to pick up his item and then catch up on reading. And Soul, you're going to the apothecary. Do you have an idea of what you'd like to do after?
Tavern. Briefly.
Something to be touched up on for roleplay, or just something that you know you want to do quickly?
She just wants to buy 2 skins full of whiskey.
Okay. So I can get your stuff done rather quickly then. What are you looking for at the apothecary?
Ingredients for a healing potion.
So working off of, like, sets, as in, how many healing potions would you be looking to make? So how many, like, sets of healing potion materials would you be looking to purchase? And the quality of the healing potions.
Uh, 2 greater and 6 regular?
And these are materials.
Yes.
Okay. So I'll do the 2 greater first. As do. Give me 1 second. So, you attempting the haggling or just buying at name price?
She'd just buy it named price.
So 2 greater sets is going to be 100 gold pieces to get the 2 sets. 50 gold each.
Okay.
And then for the normal, you wanted 6?
Yes.
Okay. So with 6, it would end up costing at 25 gold pieces a pop, 150 gold.
She would hand them 250 gold.
Okay. They would take the gold, and you would get the materials. And you are trained in apothecary alchemy work, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So you're aware there are margins of failure for creations depending on the type of potion you're making. And as well, there are margins of greater successes outside of nat 20s for the thing you're making. So I can send you what that would be for normal healing potions like later, but greater healing potion would be a mystery. Like things higher I generally don't reveal. But like margin of a greater success for a normal healing potion is like 17 to 20 on like natural roll most likely. And margins of failure is just 1.
Got it.
Depending on the modifier. But okay, you buy those. You go to the tavern to purchase 2 water skins of whiskey. 2 skins of whiskey.
Yes.
Looking for normal skins that hold the small amounts of water, or are you trying to buy bottles? Because a water skin holds about 4 pints of liquid.
Yeah, she's looking for a water skin.
So 2 of them or just 1?
2.
Okay. You'll probably spend about a silver piece for both.
Got it.
And you'll be given it. And then going back to Lady Osani's, and are you doing anything after that? This would be for the rest of your day. Would you be doing anything else?
Just after she finishes making the potions, just reading.
Oh, you're going to start doing healing? You're going to create healing potions for the rest of your day?
Yes.
Okay. So how many are you trying to make in a day? All of it?
She try to make 4 in a day.
Okay. Just 4 normal or combination of greater and...
2 greater and then 2 normal.
Okay. So the 2 greater are gonna be what take up the most time, and then the 2 normal won't take that much time. You can roll me 4 checks of your alchemy tools then. As I will tell you if they succeed or fail after I finish up with Anthony very quickly. Anthony, you go to pick up your pocket watch. As you pick up your pocket watch and receive your +1 protection pocket watch, that gives you a +1 to AC and a +1 to saving throws as well.
Mm-hmm.
As you'd pick that up, Tika would give you a nod, and I have to roll a D100. Wow. As Tika would inform you to tell Soul that she would in fact be able to pick up her item tonight around when they would close normally, which is about 9 p.m. It will be finished. As the heat of the forge is moving incredibly well, so the enchantment is setting better.
Okay. And I would tell Tika, like, thank her for everything that she's done for us, and that we'd be leaving town soon.
With you telling her that, she would sit up to look at you and go, "Oh, give my regards to Astrid and Josie then."
I'll do that as well.
Alrighty. And
when I return to the inn, I will inform everybody of that.
to Lady Alsani?
I will no. Well, I mean, if she wants to know, but I will tell
No,
Sol
no,
that.
no. To Lady Alsani's, not to the inn.
Oh yes. Oh wait, to Lady Alsani's.
It's okay. So you're
Sorry,
gonna
I did.
inform Sol when you get back,
Yes.
and Sol and you would probably end up coming back around the same time because you're doing shopping and such. Okay. And we can save what you inform Astrid or Josie for later when they get back if roleplay happens. So now here's the question. Well, I could do this quickly. Astrid, what type of plant are you trying to buy for Vidaf?
I either want... I mean, ideally, I want some sort of Underdark plant that might be hard to get up here. If that's impossible, I will take mushrooms or like some sort of like difficult to care for flower, like an orchid or something like that.
Roll me a D100 minus 50.
What if I get a negative like the other one?
What'd you say?
What if I get a negative like the other day?
I guess you'll find out, won't you? As you got a negative, huh, didn't you?
I did.
You are unable to find any sort of Underdark plant amongst their collection. And they would say that coming upon that would be incredibly rare and is generally difficult. But otherwise, you'd be looking for a mushroom and other sorts of the sort. I mean, you'd find what is these very dark purplish mushrooms that almost look kind of Underdark-ish that you'd be informed are very highly toxic, but are still akin to something you'd see in the Underdark in terms of how they look, just not bioluminescent.
Okay. Yeah, she'll take those.
Okay.
What do I owe?
How many would you buy?
How many come in like a pot?
About 6.
Yeah, just one.
Okay.
I don't want to inundate this man with mushrooms he might not want.
Spend about 5 copper.
Okay.
That's not true. You'd spend a silver. It's a silver. Because of how toxic they are.
Okay.
While we're there, Beryl would cast Speak with Plants.
Mm-hmm.
And like try as Astrid is having the transaction go on, just like try to talk to all the plants and be like, "Are you all right? Do you want to be free?"
Seem fine. They don't complain or anything, or really
Being well taken
understand
care of.
what the concept of free you're talking about really is, because they eat and they're alive.
You're being well taken care of.
They eat and they're alive. They would inform you.
Right.
You wouldn't find any dissenting issues there.
Okay. Well then.
Okay. And after you purchase it, are you going to head to find the vampire, or what are you doing?
Well, the Dath's house is the same direction as the vampire.
It is, in fact, yes.
So we're gonna drop it off by the Dath's and then swing over to the vampire.
Okay, so I'll do that in a second. I'm gonna go to Josie and Silas first. So the two of you start making your way toward the cemetery. And there'd be guards who warn about travel, but you wouldn't be stopped at the gate, to prevent you from going out. The warning's just because of the attack the other day as well, not because of any other reason. As you make your trek toward the cemetery, and you would begin to pull up to it, as you would see at the gates of the cemetery what look like two very well-armored guards standing at the side of the gates to the cemetery, dressed in a more ornate sort of armor than you have seen of the guards. In fact, it is a lot more pristine and well-made looking, and they both bear what look like swords instead of the average pikes and spears you were seeing of the guard. And Silas, I think you would know, but I'm not sure you would, Josie, that generally in terms of, like, a sword is a symbol of status, generally. Most people cannot afford to buy a sword or use a sword as their weapon on a battlefield. They generally use spears and pikes and such. So you can tell that these are not average guard as you pull up with them having swords at their side, standing by with shields both on their arms that bear the symbol of Destin on the shield itself. What do you do as you see them?
Yeah. Calmly approach them.
As you calmly approach, hearing the movement and then seeing you two approach, one of them would draw the sword to, like, a position where it's drawn, but pointed down toward the ground, at his side, and you'd hear a deep voice call out. He goes, "Do not approach any closer, please, sir. May I ask your business here?"
I came to visit and pay my respects. I was here before the incident and helped resolve the incident that happened here.
You say you are one of the adventurers that helped resolve the incident here, then?
That would be correct.
What is your name, sir?
Silas Verval.
He turns to look at the other soldier, or knightly figure, who then you see reach down and pull out a scroll as he looks it over. And he just looks over to the knight, and you hear as he nods, he goes, "The name is on the scroll, as mentioned one of the folk who assisted with the fending off of the attack and assisting at the cemetery." As he turns to look to you, and he goes, "Apologies for the aggression, sir. If you are who you say you are, then it perhaps came as inappropriate with your great deal of assistance in fending off these creatures." As he would keep the sword drawn, but have it pointed toward the ground. However, you would see him reach up and remove his helmet, as you would see what looks like a elven man with dark black hair, with what looks like a light blue eyes. As you can tell, he is a high elf. As he looks toward you and goes, "The reason for the hostility is that we have taken to investigating the cemetery since we were informed by Lady Ilsani. I am..." Moment. "I am Knight Rathal Dozana. And I will say with utmost certainty that if you are who you say you are, it is a pleasure to meet one who has helped fight off horrid creatures that invade our land." As he looks you over and goes, "You say you have come here to pay respects?"
Yes, I have.
As the... What?
I was way off.
As the knight beside him folds the scroll up and just speaks to him and goes, "Knight Dozana, we were given orders by..." One second. Where's this name? I'm so sorry this is taking so long. We were given orders by Knight Coalforged to not allow anyone else inside the cemetery during the proceedings. As he just turns to look toward him and goes, "Aye, we were." Is it of importance that you pay your respects, Lord Varel?
Silas is just fine. And it is. I'm going to be leaving, aiding Knight Setanta after he arrives and we speak with him tomorrow. I need this opportunity to pay my respects and simply leave a flower. Expressly, I would go no further than the statue in the very middle there that you could see quite plainly from the gate.
You were first-hand present to the scene that unfolded in the cemetery that horrid night, that horrid day yesterday, correct?
Undead dragon and all, yes.
Refuse this if you must, but could I perchance bother you to recount to my captain your experience?
Of that evening.
Yes.
That day, sorry.
Indeed, sir. It could do well to aid in our investigation.
I have no issues with sharing the information.
He looks to the one at the side. He goes, "Let them through. He simply wishes to pay respects, and I will show him to the captain after that is done."
Josie incited something.
Josie, what'd you say?
Does this guy seem on the up and up? Like, is he someone we should go blabbing to?
As you insight check this man, he carries himself with prestige and very much like you'd expect from someone who is of a noble or knightly caste, and you're not getting any like bad vibes or indications from him. He seems straight on the straight and narrow for the most part.
And he seems like when he said that they are here on the word of Lady Osani, that wasn't necessarily.
Yeah, you're not getting any. You're not picking up any sort of lies or deceit from him. It seems all straightforward, and he carries himself very respectfully, and it seems to be genuine in his respectful comments he's made towards you both as well.
Josie says nothing then.
As the knight Dorzano would look to you and go, "Right this way then, I can lead you to my captain after you pay your respects," as he will get the gates pulled open.
Can share the information first if that's preferable.
Take your time to pay your respects, please. The captain is in the middle of his investigation either way, and it will be interrupting him technically to bring you forward toward him.
Salas will nod, and then go head to the statue depicting the mage with the familiar staff.
Alright. And as you go toward it, the knight would in fact give you a good move of space as he would move toward the entrance to the mausoleum crypt.
With that, Sal's going to walk up to the statue. He's going to take one knee, take a knee in front of it. Pull out one of the flowers and set it down at the feet of the statue. I don't know if this is how this works. You always were mysterious. Have you played any part in why I'm still here? I owe you a debt of gratitude greater than all your teachings. And I should enjoy at least seeing your face simply to know that you're still amongst the living as well, if nothing else. Times are getting very weird. And, he'll just close his eyes and bow his head briefly, and for a good, 12 seconds or so, and then stand back up.
Okay. Going to move toward the night after, or have a thing to say?
They glance around, because he doesn't expect it, but part of him hopes.
Nothing happens.
Yeah, I didn't expect it either. But he'd take a quick look around, and then he'd walk over to the knight.
Okay. Jose, I assume, following the whole way. As you approach the knight and goes, paid your respects then?
Have?
This way then. I will have the captain speak with you then. As he will lead you down. I said the captain's name, I believe.
Fullforge?
Yeah. Just typing it out for you. As you were led back into the familiar mausoleum, to the place that you had that battle not too long ago, where now there are what looks like an entourage of knights tending the area and investigating the room. As you see, dressed in ordained silver armor that has the symbol of Destin very well carved into the armor itself, bearing what looks like a morning star at his side with a shield. There is a dwarven man with black hair and a black beard who is in the midst of looking over the area. And before you have your conversation with him, I'm going to jump back to Beryl and Astrid very quickly. As Astrid, Beryl, you approach Vidath's home. What do you do?
Astrid will knock on the door.
As you knock on the door. Are you saying anything as you do, or just knocking?
She'll say, it's Astrid and Beryl. We'll be very brief, I promise.
Okay, so as you knock and you say that, a second would pass, and then the door would pull open in the same sort of a secretive way it does, with just his head looking out. So he looks out and sees you and goes, have you come to invade my home again?
No, actually, we came to apologize for invading your home frequently and to thank you for extending your hospitality to us. And she will offer out the small pot of mushrooms.
Stare at it for a minute. She appears thinking.
I'm sorry, they're not from the Underdark. I tried, but that's apparently quite rare. They are poison. I don't know if that is something you dislike or you do like, but I thought maybe something new for your collection to care for. I noticed you had some other plants about your home.
His eyes move to you and they start to clearly scrutinize as he looks you over. And he stops after a minute. So he goes, well, I can at least tell that you are somewhat grateful for my sacrifice, he says with a smirk, laughing to himself in a chuckle, as he pulls the door open and will take the plant and go, I appreciate the gesture.
We're tending to leave tomorrow, or at the very latest the day after that, so you won't have to worry about us bothering you anymore.
Keep safe on the roads. Times are strange.
Thank you. We will try.
And the reason why it is rare for things to come back from the Underdark for people to have plants from the Underdark is because most not from the Underdark don't come back when they go down there. So steer clear of there as well.
Okay. Yes, we will do that. She's sort of looking to Beryl like, this is very morbid advice we were just given, but she's still trying to be polite.
The Beryl's sharing the same look of like.
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting you yet again. We will leave you be now.
Well, 1 second. Because... God, I'm forgetting the titles of my own deities. May the Dark Maiden's light guide where you walk, then. Astrid, you know the Dark Maiden is one of the titles traditionally used by drow. Like, as in, like, drow that still worship her from the Underdark, to refer to Illustre. And
Thank you.
And he would shut the door.
Yep, she's not trying to force her in or anything.
Okay.
Are you still willing to accompany me to the vampire barrel?
Oh, yeah, of course. I have any other plans? And always good night for a walk.
I just wanted to make sure you were up for it.
Always. Gives you like a beaming smile.
And then I guess the two of them will start heading for the vampire's castle.
As you start heading toward the vampire's castle, as you travel through the forest, it is serene today. Their normal day about with the birds chirping and creatures moving about, but doesn't feel dangerous nor disturbed, the forest today, and in fact feels serene. And as you move up toward where the vampire's castle is, you don't feel as hot as you enter the area around his castle, as the sweltering heat that emanated from the area has seemingly died down some, and you eventually approach the front of the castle. And what are you going to do?
Are his green flame barriers up?
The flames are not alit, no.
And does he have like a legit front door? We were really preoccupied with the flames last time, so I can't remember if he has a legit front door.
1 second.
They may have been busted open.
Yes. As the door is still busted open.
I guess Astra will walk forward and knock on the door frame then. And she'll also announce, she'll go, Lord Christo, it's Astrid and Beryl. In case he's,
Fire would surge,
people.
And from the front entrance of this room, Lord Christo would appear with just an aggravated look on his face as the usual, as he looks to you, and his eyes just scan over Beryl as well.
Beryl immediately, like, just instinctually just kind of, like, takes position up just behind Astrid.
And then his eyes slowly move back to you. He goes, "Why are you here?"
I just wanted to inform you that tomorrow, or the day after at the latest, we'll be leaving town.
Is that all?
Well, yes, I just wasn't sure what the protocol was, because you made me your retainer, and, well, I know what that means in a more conventional sense. I'm not exactly sure what that means for a vampire, and I thought it'd be better to be careful rather than...
For now, it is but a symbolic title. This will grant you some boons if you find yourself in the company that it may be useful to mention my name. pray you do not find yourself in that company, though.
Sorry to bother you then.
Steer clear of the island nation by the name of... One second.
Some of us know the name of the station.
Maybe not what you're thinking of. Stay clear of the island nation north of the city of Brata, known as Alaviv.
I don't think we had any immediate plans to visit an island, but I will take your advice into consideration.
Pray that you do not get immediate plans to head there either. And if you do, find a way to inform me.
Would a sending spell be alright, or is that also considered rude?
It would not be considered rude.
What's there?
She just looks at you. Something that you will not want to be a part of. Something where you would find my name, somewhere where my name would be useful. And I will leave it at that. Speak not of a word of what I have said to you, in fact, as well, that I mention the name of this nation to anyone that you do not trust to keep it to themselves. Regardless, I will not be here in this manner for much longer myself. I have fulfilled my obligations to the town, and you have given me some more freedom in being able to travel. So I am going to begin my hunt.
If you happen to be in Sylvania or among the moon elves there, you can drop my name and they will provide you with accommodations. You might have to tell them that I'm not dead, but I promise once that's been established, they will
It
take
is
care of you.
unbefitting of a lord to use the name of his retainer to gain leverage.
What a fucking power play.
Well, I'm a lady in my own right, but thank you anyway.
Perhaps so. Travel well, then.
I wish you success on your journey as well.
She just nods to you.
She will offer her hand out again.
So just look down at it for a minute and be very clearly blankly staring at it, like last time. And then we'll shake your hand as you go. You are a fool to continue to subject yourself to pain. As it would burn, but it wouldn't do any damage to you this time.
That's a huge improvement. It did a lot of damage last time.
Unintentionally, he did that to you too before too. So
Yeah, I didn't think he was trying to hurt me before.
no, it just means what if he? How do you think it would have gone if he was intentionally trying to hurt you?
You mean like the dad handshake when he meets your boyfriend for the first time and they're like both trying to like crush each other's hands?
I don't know what that means.
Do you want to shake my dad's hand later?
I've shaken your dad's hand before.
Okay.
I've shook your dad's hand before.
Astrid would say, sometimes kindness appears foolish, but I don't really believe it ever is. And she will curtsy and take her leave unless Beryl wants to prolong the conversation.
Did I describe to you ever a ring that he has on his hand? A ring that he wears?
Maybe, but all I really have in my brain is the top hat still.
Because there was a ring that I had forgotten to describe initially that I don't remember if I ever described to you.
Zach says yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did. Like,
can you
the
check?
most recently. Yeah, I'm looking it up
because
now.
I don't
one of those
want to
little-
not describe it again.
It's one of those glow-in-the-dark little spider rings you win at arcade.
No, no, it's not.
No, shut up.
You go to kiss his ring, and when you pull back, the spider's gone.
Yeah. I know I wrote it down. I'm looking for like descriptive verbs. I'm mostly just looking up like all the instances of Christo.
Alright, I'm just gonna describe
Yeah.
that he wears a ring that is an emblem of what looks like a full moon, except it is completely blood red. That's all. And if that wasn't described before, it is described now.
On his right hand?
Yes.
Okay,
Is it his right hand?
After his right hand, and so if he was shaking it, and that's how she saw it.
Yeah, it was on his right hand.
Okay.
And you can roll a history check on it.
Oh.
Upon seeing it. You recognize it, and you know it has something to do with the moon. But you can't remember. Well, more specifically, you know it has something to do with the twin side of the moon. Because there are
so like
the
like her amulet.
Similar to your amulet, yes.
Okay.
Did you find it?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
If she notices that before she left, she would have shown him her amulet and made she would have been like, look, we match, like a quip or something like that before leaving.
So he looks at the amulet. So he goes, do you even know what you carry?
No, it was a gift from the Forest Guardian. Who, by the way, I think you would be great friends. You're both immortal, sort of moody, and...
I know of the Forest Guardian. You carry an ancient item there, older than your goddess. Or older than your goddess's current station, I would say.
Before the spell plague, old.
Yes. That is likely why it's not as strong as it was back then. An amulet of a twin-faced moon is rare indeed. It was rare for those back then as well.
I don't mean...
Go on.
I don't mean to pry, but were you alive before the spell plague?
No. I simply know... Well, my father was, and he knows of these sorts of things.
I hope to see you again someday, and then this time they'll leave for real.
perhaps our paths will intertwine one day again. And you will walk away,
Yes.
heading back to town.
Yes.
Okay. Gonna go back to Josie and Silas then, as you stand before the dwarven man, dressed in silver armor with the symbol of Destin, with black hair and a black beard that you can see from just behind, as Knight Door Vrana calls out to him and goes, Captain Coalforge, I was able to... Well, two of the individuals... Sorry, he wouldn't know that Josie's one of the individuals, actually. I have one of the individuals who was here when the attack took place, who participated in stopping the goings-on from happening, that was willing to share his tale here, if you are willing to hear it. As the dwarven man lets out a low groan and stands up and turns to look at you, as you see this man with what looks like a scar going over his right eye, and the eye is what looks like, as you look at it, a completely golden orb inside the socket and not actually an eye. As he looks over to you, and he looks to the knight and goes, Thank you, Knight Giovanna. Looks up to you too. And to who do I owe the pleasure? As he will approach and offer his hand out and goes, I am Captain Coalforge.
I'm Silas Verval, the one that he spoke of.
It's good to meet you, Mr. Verval. As he looks to Josie and your friend.
Josie now looks like she wants to talk.
If you said no, Karina, you're muted or something.
Say no.
Okay. Didn't hear you.
And Silas will say, not my... more than a friend. She's my sister.
Sister, then. I see. You were willing to recount what had happened what happened here yesterday for me.
It was a request when I was requesting to pay some respects.
I'd appreciate it if you could recall whatever you can in the best detail you can. It is going straight to my superior, one of the Knights of Camelon, Knight Captain Gower. Not Knight Captain, Knight Gower.
One of the Knights of Three.
No, that's Praxmore. Camelon has... One second. I have to check my notepad, because I'm not exactly sure if I remember. And I'm keep getting notifications that are annoying. 12. As you go. Camelon has 12 knights that serve the Queen herself.
And he is one of them.
He is, yes. He is known as Knight of the... God, can my phone stop sending off notifications, please? They call him by the title Knight of the Sun.
Jake, correct me if I'm wrong, but Tanta is one of the Knights of Three, but also a Knight of Camelon?
Yes.
Or is it formerly a Knight of Camelon?
He is still a Knight of Camelon. He's the Knight of the Spear.
Okay. Well, I've had the pleasure of meeting one Knight of Camelon that also is one of the Knights of Three. Pardon for the confusion because of that.
Speak of Lord Satanta.
Yes. If you could, when you pass this information along, literally just put the name there. To Knight Galwa, you'd let him know I would certainly enjoy making his acquaintance at some point in the future.
I'll inform him of the matter, yes.
If you want to do it more briefly, Jake, Silas would recount everything that happened in the cemetery to the best of his memory.
Okay. He would
Based
listen.
on my notes, pretty good. Including like describing, the intricate details of the sickly white dragonborn man and the black rune markings, yada yada yada.
That's fine. You can do so. It's pretty fresh in your mind. I won't make anything roll or anything like that. So you would nod and would get your recounting. Go on.
Pause. I have to roll to see if he brings up something that was found out post leaving there. Yeah, he will. He would bring up that the merchant guildmaster was, turned into a very particular kind of undead, and that he had on him a symbol of the Umbral Order.
We also had heard that in our report from Lady Elsani. Thank you. You didn't see any symbology or anything on the Dragonborn man, correct?
Not that I can recall, but I'll be honest. Fighting for our lives and then staring at a man that fired a warning shot in the form of a spell of level of magic that I can't even think about touching. I did not catch a symbol.
Can't blame you for that one. I appreciate the cooperation either way. Here, for your troubles. As he would take out what looks like a small pouch of coin.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Thank you for your cooperation and your detailed recounting. It'll help with the investigation. I'll make sure to mention your name when I pass on my report to Knight Gower.
If it wasn't already in your notes, the crypt was already empty before their interference.
We're aware. Lady Astray, the
Sonny?
Moon Dancer came by our keep and was very quick to demand answers about that we didn't have. It's also why we were in position to mobilize as quick as we were to get to this investigation.
Does the former Crypt Guardian have kin?
He does. We're looking into investigating some of them, but most of them are not in the immediate vicinity.
Myself and those that I travel with that all took part in those events, we will be meeting with Lord Satanta tomorrow, and then we will be heading out to help deal with some issues that had been passed along to him, to help do him and those that are needing the help some needed aid.
Your continued cooperation with the Knight of the Spear is good to hear then. If you are competent enough to hold off what you held off here, we certainly welcome the aid in these times. That's all I have to ask of you, though. You've given a pretty detailed report. I'll report my findings to Knight Gower after we've done our full sweep. Thank you.
He'll nod his head and give like a quarter bow, like, just at the shoulders pretty much. And then go to leave.
All right, Josie behind you, behind him, I imagine. Okay. As the two of you are heading off to leave and heading back to the town, are you saying anything toward each other along the way back, or just making your way back?
Is a question.
Mm-hmm.
Just like as they're walking, it's not anything particularly ceremonial, but she would ask him, Silas, why didn't you want to go follow up that Zillion thing?
Probably for a similar reason that you didn't want to, sister. Causes a very ill feeling in me thinking about going there.
But why?
I believe that similar things were going on where we grew up. All I can say is you're better for not going. Sorry, I was trying to think about how to answer that without having that conversation yet.
Yeah, that's fair. If Satanta tells us that one is the most important, will that change your mind?
No.
Okay, good.
And I appreciated that you took a more direct opposition going there to make it clear that wasn't an option.
I can't do that right now.
Neither could I.
I feel like there's... I don't know. Like my gut's trying to tell me something, but when I try to think about it, my head just is... like it's full of bees. Can't come up with any thoughts or information, just this feeling of just dark and awful. And I don't know what to do about that.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom as you talk.
Is dark and awful what is going on there. And whatever ties that it has, it's in the past. So not recalling something is probably a blessing.
Did it follow us here?
What follow us here?
Whatever's in that town, whatever's causing this feeling.
No. Whatever's going on, would be going on, whether or not we ever came here. It has nothing to do with us.
All right.
I would ask you not put that burden on yourself.
I don't really know what burdens I have at this point.
I'm back.
Well, come back. We have companions that seem to be rather fond of you, and you seem fond of at least some of them. While we figure out where we're going and what we're doing with our lives, I think that's enough for now. Something to go forward from.
Just making your way back to
We've
town.
always looked out.
Okay.
Huh?
No, go ahead.
we've always looked out for each other.
I
And
know.
as far as I'm concerned, we always will. If I asked you or told you if it was urgent, to go the opposite way, knowing that my intention would be to return to you, would you?
I guess I'd have to know what you were going towards first.
If the entire reason that I was saying it was to spare you that.
I think I might have been spared enough information in my life. I don't think I want to go my whole life completely blind anymore. I think I'd like to make my own choices about what I know and what I don't for a little bit. So, I guess the answer is I trust you, but I don't know.
And that's a fair response, my dear sister. If any friends, I use that term very loosely, of bad people from home do happen to recognize us and attempt to make something of it, I'm not going to be treating them with anything but extreme aggression. I'll not have them having anything to do with our lives.
I think that's a reasonable response.
Sometimes I don't know, so it's reassuring to hear you say such things.
Nothing good comes from there.
You came from there.
I think my statement still stands.
Oh, I have to disagree. I think you're all a good thing that came from there. And I have a feeling our friends would agree.
I think we came from there. And I think we're trying to not go back, which makes a difference, but...
But if you need to talk or vent or ask any questions at any time, my ear and shoulder have never been far.
Oh. I think as long as we don't go anywhere near that place, we're gonna be okay.
That was my intention. And seems yours as well. So, should be fine.
And you are just...
Silas would just like take her hand like they would walk when they were younger mostly, and just go walking back.
Okay. Heading back to the estate. Okay. Astrid and Beryl are going to arrive back at the estate much later because of the walk it takes to get to the vampire's castle. So Josie and Silas would arrive back first with everyone. Isaac, you were waiting for both of them to come back, or just one of them to inform them of what Tika said?
Astrid and Josie I would inform individually when they came back.
Okay, so Josie gets back.
Oh, Josie, I saw Tika. She said to give her regards. I told her we were leaving.
She need
Didn't hear.
Say that again?
what regards?
Oh, sorry, did I cut out?
No, Josie just doesn't understand what that means.
She basically said to be careful on the road. That's what it translated to, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
But, she did it sincerely, like, with concern.
Does she know something we don't know about the road?
No, it's not like that. I'll let Astrid explain it to you.
Okay.
What's Silas and Josie doing for the rest of the night?
Astrid has to explain all these, like, large concept things to just these absolute idiots.
Lords is not a large concept. It's a, hey, thinking about you.
Please explain the concept of friendship.
Regarding somebody.
Gravity's a lot more of a harder concept.
Than regards.
Yeah.
Josie is going to take apart, clean, and reassemble all of her guns, and when she has the bad romance apart, she wants to stare at it intently to try to figure out what makes it different than a regular sidearm, to see if she could ever try to replicate such a thing.
Roll me... Let me look at your character sheet. Because this isn't quite your tools. This is you trying to figure it out.
The gun brain.
Yeah, this is your gun brain move.
I don't know if I have a gun brain.
You can roll me gunsmith's tools still, though.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say that it, is the closest approximation.
You were about to say you can roll me gun brain. That's pretty good.
Got a gun brain. I'm good at one thing.
Well, the first thing you're able to tell is that it is assuredly different from most guns. It uses this revolving cylinder that you haven't seen in other guns before, but the guns you've seen, are makeshift, crude for the most part, and then like basic weaponry as you look at it. And you think through more study you could get an understanding of how to possibly replicate the same formula of the gun to possibly make another type.
Not wanting to hold Josie back, Silas would not be involved in that in the slightest. Would offer assistance to Sol, though, if she was still working on things when we got back.
Yes, she would, and I never told you your success-fail ratio, did I, Rogue?
Nope.
You made them all. None of them were anything more than a normal success, though. As all of them got finished. Actually, wait. Would Sol accept Silas's assistance?
Yeah, she would.
It wouldn't change anything. But you'd still get them all. So, okay. So that's what you two are doing for the rest of the night. And this is rest of the night before sleep is what I'm saying here. So, and then Astrid and Beryl get back. As Isaac, you would see Astrid and Beryl arrive.
Oh, Astrid, I saw Tika, and she told me to give her regards to you. Also, can you explain regards to Josie?
Yes, I suppose. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Where's Josie doing her gun stuff?
Like, literally on the floor where everyone is.
Oh, okay, perfect.
She has made a large mess.
Alright, like a kid in a pile of Legos, gotcha.
Exactly, like...
Alright.
I know, just...
You need to know what regards are?
It just sounded like Tika was trying to warn us about something on the road. I didn't...
Oh no, when you give someone your regards, it's It's to inform them that while you cannot speak to them in person, they are trusting someone else to relay to you that this person is thinking of you and wishing you well.
So not a threat.
No.
Okay.
Tika could not see us off in person, so knowing that Isaac runs with our crowd, she gave him her regards to pass on to us.
I see it. Okay.
That is correct, Isaac. You told her, but it was not through roleplay. Sol, I imagine you're gonna go pick it up.
Yep.
Okay. As you would go pick it up, and Tika would hand the item over to you, and she would just nod to you and go, "Your forge helped tremendously in getting this made. The fire you put in the forge helped tremendously in getting this set quicker. It's going to be a bit hot, though, so be careful." As upon touching it, you would find that it is hot to the touch, but not searing.
She would nod, thank her, and run off.
As she would nod to you and just say to be, Kate, take care. And I will have a handout for you next time we have session. But I do not have one currently. Alright. So, Astrid, Beryl, what would you two be doing for the rest of the night before sleep?
Well, upon learning that Retainer is basically a symbolic role, she doesn't really need to read her vampire book, so she's probably going to keep composing.
Well, I'd say that you got that he was saying yours was symbolic, not the role
okay.
itself is. Like he's giving it... Yeah.
She'll save that for a rainy day when they're near a certain island.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just gonna be composing in the main group, just sort of like trying out different melodies, seeing what she likes.
Fair enough. Beryl?
Yeah, I'll just go back to my history book.
Okay, and then everyone goes to bed and sleeps.
Question, Jake.
Yes.
Obviously not relevant before sleeping, but does Lady Elsani happen to have, since this is a grand place, otherwise I wouldn't bother asking, a piano?
She would have a music room that has a piano, yes. But it wouldn't be in the main living area. She'd have a music room, though. It'd have a variety of different instruments, though. But final comments or things to say or need to do before I move on to the next day. Okay. As you all sleep, and it moves to the 23rd, you all are awoken by a knock on your door, informed by the maid that they were told to awake you, as Satanta has returned, and he is in the dining room, awaiting you all, having breakfast. Would any of you not head to go meet with him? I asked for who not. Did you say you wouldn't or would?
Would.
Okay, so I alright. Okay, so everyone's going to meet with him, it seems. As all of you would get up, head to the dining room, where you would find Satanta awaiting in what looks like some beat-up, tattered leathers that he wears, with Konda as well, who is leaned up against the door, against the wall, holding his head with what looks like a makeshift, like, ice, like, pack of sorts, holding it to his head, and you'll see some dried blood around the top of his head and such, with his eye closed as you all enter. And Satanta is in the middle of what could only be considered a beast's meal, as there are at least 8 different plates that are completely filled with different varieties of breakfast meats, and then a whole plate of eggs as well, as he is just eating a lion's fill of food, like some sort of creature, as he awaits you all as you enter, and he looks up from it in the midst of eating and goes, "Ah! The people of the hour. Well, I guess have a sit down, why don't you? Good to see you all again, and good to see you all alive."
I believe the feeling is mutual, and Astrid will sit.
Carolina, were you saying something?
Well, I said basically the same thing. I said
Okay.
the same about you.
Oh, yeah! Was iffy there for a bit for some of us. Close call. I'll start, though. And I've been informed by Lady Ilsani and some other folk, including a Captain Coalforge, who was investigating the cemetery of what happened. So, looks to you, Silas, and goes, "Thanks for being willing to share information with him."
I'll just nod.
As he goes, "But, oh boy, let me start. I think I met your friend Kieran."
Is he holding
Shiny
out?
armor, paladin running with bad swords.
Oh, yeah. Bad sorts in fucking deed. I also think I met your pal there, Soul, as he would reach down toward the side, and he would take up what looks like the headpiece worn by that shade and just drop it on the table as it just clutters down. And the maid says, "Please do not make a mess of the dining area, Lord Satanta." Lady Alsania would be there as well, sitting at the head chair, just watching, sort of with a look towards the way Satanta's eating that indicates that she's seen it before, and it's just not, she just doesn't get it. As he drops the headpiece to the table and goes, "Nasty fight. Had a good kick in him. But, well, taken down eventually." And as you look at the helmet piece, Soul, it is cracked in some parts, and you see what looked like almost like barbs that are completely like crimson red sticking out of the side that have burst through, punctured through very clearly, destroying the headpiece. He was there, whole bunch of fucking undead, and that buddy Kieran. They came expecting to take from the crypt the remains of the dear mage. Luckily, we were quick enough to fight them off. They were strong, but not quite strong enough for me and dear Skanda here and the knights. Kept the fight up, kept Kieran on his back foot, in fact. Would have got the fucking bastard too, if he didn't turn to some foul magics to summon something that just wasn't right. Got away because of it. So I'm sorry to say that your good pal still lives.
He's got a nasty habit of running away and getting away with it too.
He can't keep getting away with it, I'll tell you that. He's got a nasty... Whatever the feck he summoned to was not, was certainly a nasty habit as well. As Kanda just chimes up and goes, "I don't know what the fuck it was, but it looked..." As he clutches his head and goes, "It looked..." As Satanta just goes, "Alright, you stubborn bastard, I told you to stop thinking about it if it's gonna make your head ache." So he looks to you all and goes, "Anytime we try to recall it makes our heads really hurt. It wasn't right, is all I can say." almost took Conda down, and would have been a real nasty experience for me as well. I would have gotten out, but it would have been a bad wound if it weren't for the two of us being there.
If it is what you're describing, it's the same thing he summoned with us.
It's possible.
Wild creatures.
It was foul, though. And it really... Regardless, we held them off and stopped them from getting what they were looking for at the crypt. It was a tough battle, but ultimately one that was only enlightening on one particular matter. As Satanta would take a bite out of a giant leg of meat and just look at you and go, that Kieran boy is in some sort of agreement or pact with a witch like some of you believed. I could smell the hex magic on him. I know a little bit about hexers and the magic that emanates off of them, so I could tell that he was in some sort of agreement with them.
Assume you all didn't have a conversation, though.
Very brief one. Made his some grandstanding threats about us laying down our arms and leaving, and nothing bad had happened to us. I offered the same to him after I, kicked my spear and just missed stabbing him through the head. He didn't take too kindly to that, and we started fighting after. Thought I'd give him a warning shot. I should have just taken the bastard's life with one sweat with it, though.
Something to keep in mind should you ever come across him in the future. He believes that I'm dead.
Well, I did nothing to make him think otherwise.
It is a good concern to bring up though, because I know I can't stop telling people about Silas whenever he's not around.
I would say if you do encounter him again, I feel like he might have more information on everything that's been going on. So, if it's possible to not kill him, but take him alive.
That's why I shot the warning shot. I was hoping he'd be scared enough to not take the fight. Most people are able to... Well, most people stop trying to fight once they sense the aura that comes off of, my quaint little spear over there, as he gestures toward the spear that's pressed up against the side of his chair. Seems he had a bit more of a pear on him, though, and decided to take the fight.
Well, as long as he didn't get what they came there for, I'd say that's a win. And the fact that you guys are still here.
Well, we got this bastard, as he gestures to the Shade's helmet, and they stopped him from getting what they were looking for, so yeah. I considered a big win. I heard from several different people what had happened with you all at the mausoleum. And unless you think their recounts are lacking, I don't feel like I need to make you all relive it.
It includes what report I gave Coalforge. I think it's likely adequate.
And I heard... Alright, good. I heard you got paid from Lady Ilsani then, so we're square. Well, I'll catch you up on one more thing then, before we move on to the next point. Lady Astray was here, and she was going to be present for this. But... well, she's gone now. She left. Because of the arrival of a special guest. As well. I forgot if this is a day or a lay in his name, as he goes. Morgan de la Goidwig, the guardian of the forest, showed up around the time that we arrived here after we got some brief rest while we were waiting. He had a private conversation with Lady Estray, and she then came and said she was leaving, heading north toward the unclaimed lands past Vosia, and that she would be taking one of the Guardian of the Forest's giant ravens to head as far as she could toward there. He then offered me a deal, because the bastard seems to know quite a bit about what's going on, saying that he knows that I'm about to start undertaking some operations across Euclex, and he offered to let me employ the services of his ravens to get information around between folk. I would have turned the fucker down if I wasn't aware that he is at least trusted to some capacity by the Queen. So, as he takes out what looks like a silver whistle that has the design of a raven at the side of it, as he places it down on the table and goes, brings me to my next point. You all looking to work for me still?
That we are.
He slides the whistle out toward the middle of the table and goes, one of you can take that. It's going to be one of the ways we're going to keep in touch with each other using the ravens.
Astrid takes it a little bit too fast.
Sometimes he just looks at you as that, raises an eyebrow, but says nothing.
She's a fan.
Well, aside from that, you all have read the job descriptions then that I got handed out by Lady Osani hopefully gave you.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, have any idea what you're looking to do, or have any questions you need to help make your decision? I could go over each of them and tell you what I know, or if you'd like, we can just skip to the things you're interested in.
As it stands, we're looking to deal with the occupied town and the goblin raids.
Looking at Sandlow, and you're looking at Brayline. Well, Sandlow I can tell you a bit about. Obviously not a very renowned town. And the Ugly Sirens, this is a bit out of character for him. Known for raiding ships, taking things, picking them clean. Doesn't really take hostages, though. They don't do hostage situations much. They don't particularly go to try and kill people, or even hurt them as well. Most of the time, it's a last resort. Worst injury someone's ever gotten from the Ugly Sirens was nasty bit turned out with someone getting involved with their captain a bit too much in a scuffle, and the guy lost his eye. What I understand, the woman carries the eye around still because she thinks it's funny, from reports I've heard. But she's led by a former Vosian ship captain. Alva Darrington. What I understand was a rather renowned figure in the Vosian Navy before things took a turn between her and the higher-ups, and she turned to piratry. mostly targets Vosian merchant crafts these days as well. Once the war broke out, they turned from their piracy to land banditry. They've been stopping caravans, stopping travelers, and taking what they can from them. Not gotten any reported injuries from any of the caravans or people they've robbed yet. This is out of the ordinary for them. We don't know why they'd want to occupy a town, let alone a town that is, well, not worth occupying, frankly.
Why would you say that?
Sandlo doesn't have anything going on for it. It's a small mine town. It occasionally pills out of the mines components that people use to make gunpowder and sorts. That's about it, though. It's in a long-standing arrangement. Not a lot of money to be made there from taking it hostage. I think it's strange. The situation smells strange, and I don't know why.
Myself and my sister had a run-in with them playing highwaymen on a road before we first met up with the rest of the group.
Go ahead.
The right amount of confident discouraging that we were more trouble than the small amount of money we had was worth. They eventually just let us pass.
Well, see, there's a thing that's interesting to note, is they acknowledged you were too much trouble for not enough money, so they didn't do anything with you, correct?
It took some convincing, but yes.
You see, Sandlo's not worth the trouble for the very small amount of money they're gonna get, because they're making an enemy of our entire nation. Before, they were on the regular list for bandits and pirates and such. You know, arrest and sort at convenience, and if such a things. However, doing this, they're getting put on a much bigger list of actively seek them out. So I don't know why they're doing it, because there's nothing worth in that town. And trust me, I've been there before. Nothing that I could see. I don't know of any secret, maybe thing that they have. Maybe the mine dug a bit too deep and found something, though. Regardless, it's strange. The situation seems funny to me, and if you're gonna take the job, I'd recommend going in with a bit of caution. Real quick, it's 11. We started an hour late, so do you all want to try to get to the point where you will make your decision and then leave Wolford, or do you just want to end now?
Good to keep going if you want.
Another half hour, that's about it.
Yeah, I could do about a half.
Is that pushing it for anyone? Is the question though, because
Not a half hour.
I'm seeing some people are looking a bit lost, and even with the fact that this is the last session for a while, I do consider the conversation that's about to happen to be an important one. So, with it being late, even though we started late, I don't want to keep going if anyone thinks it's too much for them.
No, I'm not falling asleep. I like to close my eyes and listen to sometimes. So if that's your concern.
I guess that's good for a half hour.
Yeah, I could do a half hour.
Any dissenters? Then we'll go the half hour. Okay. What'd you say, Rogue?
Never mind.
Were you dissenting, or did you have something to say?
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. As Satanta would just finish his statement. It's a weird situation. I recommend approaching it with caution. And then, dear Brayline, the goblins of Gulwyn Pass. That's a strange one. That's, boggles my mind even more. I'll explain why. The goblins of Gullen, the Gullen goblins, they have occupied there for quite some time, and they are officially protected by Destin, and we consider them to be people that we would consider our allies and a protected people. Reason for that? Well, Ravia. Is it Ravia? I have to check. No. Saurus does not have a good history with goblins. They are on a kill on sight policy with goblin kind. It's not something that we here in Destin like, and it's something we've been trying to get them to stand down on with our proceedings in Praxmore. The reason why this is strange is because Gullen goblins are right on the border of Saurus. And I can bet you the minute that Destin decides that they aren't an ally to protect anymore, well, minute Saurus finds out about that, they'll have an entire brigade upon them, looking to take every single one of them out. From the youngest child to the oldest man. Nasty business. I don't understand why it's happening. They're peaceful people. I've not had the pleasure of meeting with them myself, but I know that they do active trade and diplomacy with the town, in fact. More than that, about the specifics of their agreement, you would have to speak to the mayor about. On that topic, you guys have had some bad experiences with mayors as of recently. So, I'll ease your mind a bit. Mayor Avadan is a pretty good fella. I've, from all my interactions with him and his house, they have been very good, honorable, very, kind clan that seek to keep things good for other folk. So I hope that eases any concerns you might have about any, political mayors and, political figures, going forward. As, well, Mayor Serpentstone wasn't a great example of our leaders. Anything more about that situation, you'd have to ask him when you arrive. I only know about the relations the goblins and them have, and I know about the situation in Saurus. You told me the two you're most interested in. Would you like for me to account what I know about the other jobs, or are those the two you're dead set on?
I believe we're fairly set on those two. However, I can't speak for any others not wanting to hear about the other job locations.
Saves me the breath if you are set and not going to have your mind changed. Does anyone have any questions about what I've told you so far, or what you've read in any of the job posts?
What happens if we do not go to Azelia?
Looks to you and gives a nod as he points and goes, "That's a good question." As he pulls out the missive and places it on the table, as you can see that this is the official copy of the Zilia paper. It has what looks like a stamp and sigil on it as well. This is a new one for me. I've never gotten any requests by Zilia before. Technically wasn't requested of me, technically was requested of my boss, Councilman Wilkinson. Regardless, he sent it straight to me after he got it, because, well, he isn't exactly a warrior and he can't go there. This report unnerves me for several reasons. The first, of course, being that it's demons. The second being that Zilia is not prone for asking others for aid. And the third being the identity of that demon. As... Ubleve, the Angel of the Everlasting Void, as they call her. Well, I had some digging be done when I heard about this. I made sure to get my best agent on it. I can tell you that she is part of the Trinity of the Umbral Order. And therefore related to whatever goings-on they had going on here. So, if you all decide that you don't want to go and take a trip to Zilia, which I wouldn't blame ya, I suppose that means me and Kanda here are going to be taking a trip. Because I have to send someone I know is competent enough to handle it on the job. And most of my best soldiers are occupied. Most of my best knights are occupied. So I'd be going myself.
We took a tally, and it seemed that some of us were dead set against going. So I don't think we'll be venturing out there anytime soon. Sorry to say.
She looks over you all and sees the visibly uncomfortable silence and just nods and goes, "I won't press to know why." As he goes, "Me and Kanda will handle the issue with Zilia then." That being said, with that off the table for you, do you want to know anything more about what's going on with the miners?
You've done the investigation already.
Well, all I know from my reports is that the miners went in. One second, I'm pulling up my thing. Miners went in after discovering a wide open cavern that was filled with the stuff they used to make red powder. You all know what red powder is?
Do not.
Josie, you can roll history. With advantage, I'd say. Josie, you know that red powder is really, really volatile and really, really strong gunpowder that is used to make big booms. Like very, very big ones. It is magical innately from the stuff it's made from, and it is volatile and very hard to make into safe weaponry.
So upon hearing that, she basically just said, like, that's some dangerous shit.
It is indeed. But Dolwyn's uniquely equipped to deal with mining it. They've been doing it for years. They were, in fact, the town that found the powder itself. So they went in to go get at this new deposit of materials to make it. And in the midst of their going about, the earthquake hit. Earthquake caused a chain reaction, which caused some of the material to, well, do what red powder does best. As he just... And some people got hurt. Some people were killed in the blast. And a whole lot of people got trapped inside the mountain. The way was cleared and a rescue team was sent in. Rescue team should have taken about 3 days to at most. But they've been gone for a long time. For about a week now. Strange noises have been heard from inside the cave. Fleshy sounds like squelching, moans, and other sorts of strange emanations. This one is from a friend, this request. And he writes because he tells me he's not going to be able to get anybody to help him, as you can read inside there, for another 2 weeks. I don't know what the state of those miners are going to be in about 2 weeks. Aside from that, all I know is that a trek down there is likely going to be dangerous. It's why nobody unexperienced has gone. Because if the material for the red powder is exposed, that means it might be already in a volatile state. That means something goes wrong, you can see another boom. And another boom could lead to another chain reaction. So we need to send in careful people. Or experienced people. So that it doesn't happen that way. Aside from that, the noises are disturbing. The squelching and the moaning sounds sort of undead-like from what I understand. It sounds a bit like undead from my experience. But it could be something more aberrant or more monstrous. I also know that for that job, my dear friend is offering an additional reward to those who go out of their way to help there. Offering money and red powder if folk go and help out at the mine. He's the only one offering that. I will of course reward all of you for the jobs you take, but he's offering a bonus. But with the Zillia one out of the question, that's all I know about the mines. Any of you have anything to ask before you tell me what you want to do?
Hearing what you've told us about, see, we were interested. I do feel that possibly the goblin raids might be the more important mission of our two choices. What do you all think?
Appears to be the more time-sensitive one.
So you feel, Carolina, I know you have a vested interest in the other job, but I would agree that the time sensitivity of the Braylon job is probably more precedent.
Should I take that as an implication that you all are taking the job in Braylon?
I mean, considering the ugly sirens are, well, actively known to not be super violent, no matter how strange it seems, I don't really want anybody to die on account of us, you know, leaving things be. So I think we should definitely consider the goblins be the priority.
If the ugly sirens do hold up their morals of not being intently violent, then that buys us a little more time.
You have a vested interest in the sirens, though?
Someone, my brother, I was told by someone that he might be captured by them.
Nasty news. Sorry to hear it. So, you're taking the Braylon job then? Do you want to take the Sandlo job too then, with that being known?
That's what we were talking about, taking 2 jobs, and those were the 2 we were going to take.
You're free if you'd like to.
If no one else's opinion has changed, then I believe that's what we will be doing.
Alright, I'm just going to do this very quickly, so that I know what is happening. I'm going to go over and I'm going to say right now, you all are taking the Goblin job and the job in Sandlo in that order. And I'm going to go through everyone very quickly to get it just a yes. You just have to say yes. Alex.
Yes.
Beryl.
Yes.
Carolina. Is it a yes, James?
Yes, sorry.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Josie.
She said yep.
Okay. Fair
She
enough.
gets cut off a lot.
That's alright. Silas.
Yes.
And Soul.
Yes.
Okay. Then you're set. And Sataka will go, well, alright. 2 jobs for you then. I can't thank you enough for doing that. I'll have pay for both of the jobs for you. 500 gold each. Possibly changes depending on the what actually is going on at the 2 jobs, because I know that something strange is going on. So, depending on what's going on, could expect up to a 500 gold a bonus, depending. But, that being the case, as he is going to offer out what looks like a paperwork. So he goes, that there is a letter from me introducing you to the mayor of Braylon. You're to arrive there and seek him out as soon as possible. He'll be able to give you lodging and sorts, or should be able to, unless you seek to get it from somewhere else. He's a good man, and I'm sure he'll be very welcome to have competent aid. I ask that you take this situation very seriously, and you approach it very carefully. It's a tense situation, and I don't want it devolving into violence before a diplomatic solution's tried. We need to know what's going on with these goblins, not mindlessly slaughter them. Understood?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You take that then. Alright, and then there's this, as he will offer out what looks like a badge, as you see what looks like the emblem of Destin attached to a gold piece that looks very official as a badge. And he goes, this indicates that you're acting as my voice and as a representative of the law. You can use it while going on with the goblins, and you can also use it in Sandlo to let them know that you're here from Destin, as the voice of Destin, to stop what's going on. I was also informed, I will also be informing Lady Avalon, the Knight Captain, of your involvement in this, as she asked to be aware of the individuals that decide to take on this mission. I don't know why she wants to know, but, well, she's an honorable woman, so she won't be doing anything bad with your names at the very least. Just know that the eyes of the Knight Captain is on you in that regard for that one. So make sure to solve the situation as cleanly as possible. Especially as his eyes move to you, Silas, for those that are looking to get into the good graces of royalty. Be very careful with that one. As he just has a knowing look as he's looking at you.
Silas will nod his head in acknowledgement.
Aside from
No
that...
one else
Good.
said he'll take the badge since no one's jumping at it.
I just read that in chat. Well, alright. That's all I have to say for that. If you all have any goodbyes you'd like to do, you're free to do it. And you can leave as soon as you're able. I'd ask that you get to moving as quick as you can, though, so that these situations don't remain unsolved for long. Lady Astray gave you all her regards, and she looks to you, Astrid. Apologized for not being able to say goodbye personally to you.
No, I understand the situation is unique.
Appears something dire's going on in the north, though she refuses to tell me. Regardless, she nods to you all. You've taken what you've taken. We'll just end here. I was gonna have this end normally with you guys leaving the city, but I don't know what you wanted, like, if you want to say goodbye to people before you leave anymore. Even though I know it was said yesterday to say your goodbyes yesterday before leaving. But I'm gonna end here, so that, and we'll pick up next week. Well, we'll pick up next session somewhere, because I don't want to keep anyone longer. That's the session. I hope everyone had fun. As you say goodbye to Wolford now. As I'm not gonna give my stream the normal goodbye. I'm just gonna say goodbye now, stream, and I'm gonna end the stream.
0 wolves.